She used to be an actress.
She ever do anything I saw?
I think her biggest deal was she starred in a pilot.
What's a pilot?
Well, you know, the shows on TV.
I don't watch TV.
Yes, but you are aware that there's an invention called television, and on that invention, they show shows?
Yeah.
Well, the way they pick the shows on TV is they make one show, and that show is called a pilot. And they show that one show to people who pick the shows, and on the strength of that one show, they decide if they want to make more shows. Some get accepted and become TV programs, and some don't become nothing. She starred in one of those ones that became nothing.
Yes. Welcome to Couch Pilots, all of my friends. It's the show that dares to fly into the unknown territory of awful television pilots of the past. My name is Jason, and with him, as always, is my special someone on the spectrum. It's Captain Philip Restisher. Good evening.
Some would say that is correct. I have some spectrumness to me.
I think we all do.
I have
Probably you more than most.
I have a spectrum child, too.
Which? Oh, yes.
He's a young adult, but...
Yeah, he's 22?
22.
What's the spectrum? Like a 1 to 7 scale?
Yeah.
And where would you say your child is?
He's probably a 4.5, 5.
He functions all right, though, doesn't
He
he?
functions, but
Yeah.
there's things that just are not
When
good.
did you first know that about him? We're talking about autism. That's the theme of today's program. We'll get into that a little bit more.
Yeah. I would say like 4 or 5 there was.
Yeah.
You know, you could tell things were not necessary.
Does he not like to be touched?
Does not like to be touched. Doesn't. Actually, earlier than that, now that I mention it, the haircut, the first haircut, he was like 4 before he got his first haircut because
Screamed.
He was not
Bloody
having
murder.
it. Bloody murder.
That's funny that he doesn't like to be touched because it's almost the complete opposite of you. You like to be touched all the time.
I love being touched. If I have to touch myself most of the time.
And you were going to high five that. Nice. Boy, oh boy. What a special season of Couch Pilots we are nuts deep into at this point. 2 more episodes of this season. And you know what? A little different than what we've normally done.
Yeah, it's the Pilots Challenge. What we did this season is we each picked 5 TV shows that were successful or did make it to series. And
A complete about face from what we normally do.
about face.
That's right.
And what we're going to do is at the end of these 10 episodes, we're going to tally up all of the downloads for each episode and see who is the better pilot.
And not just episodes that made it, or TV shows that made it, but television shows that we love.
Oh, yeah.
You picked 5, I picked 5. Last week, we watched Seinfeld. This week, Atypical, right? It's a program about autism on Netflix.
Sure.
And we're going to see who comes out on top. But in the next season, I think we'll go back to what we normally do.
Okay, that's fine.
That's fine.
That works
All
for
right,
me.
we got a couple guests today.
Couple guests. Is the cock pilot...
The cock pilot?
You know, the cock pilot. Does the cockpit...
You need to stay off of xhamster.com, my friend.
You know what? You're absolutely right.
Yeah, you spend a lot of time there. I'm getting the receipts for some of that.
I think I'm going to have
A lot of it's free, and you choose to spend money on pornography, but it's so free.
Sometimes it's free, but sometimes I'm like, you know what? That was so good. And I start emailing X-Hamster. I'm like, I want to give you money for this.
And I want the 4K, right?
Right.
You want to see everything.
I wish I could like transport it to my TV.
Right.
Like I love watching on my phone because I don't have to worry about viruses or anything.
Yeah.
But there's sometimes where I was like, I'd like to see this in HD.
Talk to me after the show. I got some ideas for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Let's go ahead and introduce the guests. Why don't you introduce them today?
Well, we have 2 Couch Pilots veterans.
I might even go far and say all-stars.
Hey now, you're an all-star on Couch Pilots. Game on. Let's first introduce Baggage Boy number 2. He's number 1 in my heart.
Can I give him some intro music?
Sure. This is good for him too.
I know.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Couch Pilots Season 22, Episode 8, the one and only boy, Baggage Boy, Lucas.
It's a pleasure to be back here. That's quite the transition from Blake masturbating to coming to me.
No, we knew what we're
Hey,
doing.
I was coming to you, don't worry.
Yeah, I
Gross.
know you were.
You're disgusting. You're a disgusting person.
Well, you know, I had to, if you're going to sell the bit, you got to do the bit.
You're absolutely right.
Or it should be, if you're going to do the bit, sell the bit, is what you should have said.
That's fine. Either way, it's fine.
Do you have intro music for the second one as well?
God, I always lose. Oh, yeah, here it is right here. Oh, no, he likes this one.
And now, the Lakers' greatest fan in the world. You know him as a captain of his own. The one and only Matt. Matt, welcome to the show.
How's everybody doing? Great to be here.
Is it great though?
So far, we're doing. I mean, we just got up and. I mean, are we taxiing right now? We're
just sitting in the plane.
We're just sitting.
We're checking all the levers and gears
and the louvers.
Yeah.
Then I'd say we're doing great so far.
DSJ is going about his checklist that he has.
Yeah, welcome back, DSJ.
Yeah,
glad everything got solved.
We talked about that last week in depth, of course, and not next week, but last week we talked about it, right?
Right, yeah. So everybody already knows what's going on with it.
Absolutely.
Relief to have him back.
No need to rehash that. Welcome back, Matthew.
Thank you.
An all-star. And someone...
Welcome Lucas back, too.
No, he's fine. He works for us.
Oh, that's true. He's on the payroll.
No, it's good to have him here.
Hey,
though.
did you get your W-2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
For taxes.
No deductibles, okay?
No deductibles, no.
For some reason, Lucas has 7 dependents. He on the
Yeah, what is that? What's that
He
about?
prefers not to talk about it.
I'm an opossum,
You're...
so I have 7 children.
Are you like a humanoid?
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of a lizard person, I'm an opossum person.
I like that.
They kill ticks. They kill a lot of vermin. They're good. They look ugly.
3,000 a year or something.
So
So if you've got 7 dependents, I mean, you're north of 20,000 ticks a year.
That's right.
It's the greatest joke God ever played was on the opossum because it does a lot of good, but good Lord, is it an ugly animal, isn't it?
No, they're awesome
Ugly
looking.
as sin.
When we worked at that hotel that we worked at,
Right.
and we were trapping them for a while, I would go out there and I would feed them while they were in the cages.
Yeah, did they like that?
Yeah, they
What did
did.
you feed them, an apple?
Cake, biscuits.
I tried to give him diabetes.
That'll show 'em.
Slow and painful deaths. You may be a
Yeah.
serial killer.
Serial killer.
There's no maybe about it.
That's fine. Human opossum.
Welcome to my home. Serial killer.
Yeah, we let everybody in.
Just
Yeah.
possums. Just
Oh, yeah, you were talking about that a few weeks ago.
All walks of life.
I love serial killers.
I do too. They're fascinating.
They are.
I like the psychology behind it.
Oh, for sure.
Like, why did they reach that point?
And what I've always said about serial killers is I could never be one because
always said it,
I'm
yeah.
too fucking lazy.
He's always said it.
There's a lot of work that goes into being a serial killer.
Yeah, there is.
To do it right.
To do it, to do it,
To do it right now.
child.
But here's the thing: you can't be a serial killer if you're doing it wrong. You get caught way too quick to be a serial
Might
killer.
get lucky a handful of times, but you're right. In the long run.
In the long run.
Let me ask you this.
I'm in it for the long haul, Matt.
If you're a serial killer, you have to kill 3 people, is that right? So, like, is a mass shooter?
No,
Are they serial killers?
We've talked about that before. Mass shooters are not serial killers
They have to be separate instances?
Yeah, mass killers are when it's all
at one time.
one time.
Concentrated in the
These
one.
serial killers are spread out.
Why are your eyes rolling in the back of your head while you're saying this?
I don't know, because
It's
I'm getting a
terrifying.
hard on.
That's what happens to me, too. I can see my retina.
The Me Too movement is just guys' eyes rolling in the back of their head because they've got a boner and the blood's rushing down their
Good
dick.
Lord. Welcome back to the show, Matt.
Thank you for having me.
So what do you want to talk about with these guys? This is an interesting mix of folks we have today.
Yeah, this is definitely an interesting mix of folks. Do you want to take a few minutes and talk about our issue with the AVN awards? The Aviator Awards?
Let's do it next week. You want to do it this week?
Yeah.
Okay, then why did you ask me if we should do it this week? Go ahead.
Well,
It's embarrassing. I'm trying to put it off because it's an embarrassing
it's
thing.
embarrassing. From January 22nd to the 25th
Yeah.
in Las Vegas was the AVN Awards.
Are you guys familiar with this? Are you familiar with the AVN Awards?
I'm afraid not.
Okay, well,
I know Lucas is. His eyes are rolled behind his head.
Absolutely. It's my favorite award thing.
and
Okay.
it was our favorite award too.
We were looking forward to it so much.
we flew out to Vegas, and because we thought we were going to be on the aviation,
We got an official invite.
I
right,
see.
and we thought it was the aviation awards, right? For pilots who do a great job, obviously.
That's what we thought.
And come to find out, it wasn't. The AVN stand for Adult Video
News.
News.
It is a monthly publication in the adult film industry, and we thought it was going to be aviation related.
Sure.
It was not. It was far more boobs than I thought should be at an aviation event.
Sure.
Was that the first tell? Like when you got there, you're like,
Bare naked boobies.
It's
right.
been. Yeah. So
Blake got off the plane. He started looking around. I was like, my God, we're in Boobtropolis.
But I was like, I don't see any of our pilot buddies.
.gov.
You know, like that we
Yeah.
went to school with at Phoenix Online. There was Ted Simpson.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I expected to see him there. He was great in class. Billy Bob Johnson.
Right.
I mean, he couldn't see.
He goes by William now.
Right. But he couldn't see, but he was great at, you know,
He
flying a plane.
used literal Coke bottles for classes.
Yeah. And so I'm like, I'm getting ready to step off the plane in Vegas, and I'm like, yeah, we're gonna see some old buddies, you know.
Yeah.
Some of the guys we've flown with, you know. There's tons of times that we pass another plane and we just kind of wave, and you get to know these people, right? And it was not that at all.
No, it was best sex.
There was a lot of sex.
There's a lot of sex out in the open. There was awards for different kinds of sex in films.
Yeah, I mean, we had our suits on. We wore our pilot suits, you know, because that's what you wear to a formal
People
event.
kept trying to like rip them off us like they were breakaway stripper clothes. They weren't. They
No.
were our official.
Like,
You
clothing.
guys were probably sending some mixed signals,
You think so?
I would imagine.
Yeah, well, we had Lucas carrying our baggage, and his eyes kept rolling in the back of his head while we were out there.
Yeah, the only person that was not embarrassed by this trip was Lucas. He
Yeah,
was like,
he was at home.
He's like, what's my per diem every day for food?
And we got him to admit a second ago that he knew what the AVN Awards was, so he knew what we were walking into. It was like an ambush. You could have
Yeah,
gave
but-
us a heads up.
I want to say on record now, since they deceived you guys,
Right.
Fuck those guys. Literally, fuck those guys.
Gross.
You know
That's
what?
gross. But yeah, I agree.
Lucas, you may call them guys. I still don't call them guys.
What do you call them?
Huh?
What do you call them?
They're transgender.
Transgender.
Yeah, and so speaking of transgender, my favorite part, I mean, you make the best out of, you make lemonade out of lemons, right?
You also need water and sugar, I believe. But yes.
Unless you go around the corner and then you make fudge.
He's right.
grief.
We've heard of that, right? Milk, lemonade, round the corner fudge is made. Lucas is absolutely right.
That's literally the first time I've ever heard that.
You've never heard that?
That's the first.
That's
I've
like
never heard it either.
There we
What?
go.
No,
Two of
no.
us.
That's like
Half
on
the class.
That's like on the schoolyard. Around the corner fudge is made.
I was not allowed to go outside. Do you remember King's Corner? That was a fucked up game, right? King's Corner?
I don't know what that is.
Anyway.
I play Micro League Baseball is what I remember.
Ooh, hey now.
That's all I remember.
But I made the best of the situation, and I went to the meet and greet for
It was spelled MEAT, oddly enough. I didn't appreciate that. I was like, come on. The AVN is really, they're really into the pun work, but it's like lazy puns, like
Sure.
the one I just said.
right.
I thought you said lazy pud, and I thought we were.
And say they
all
used
in
that one
agreement.
too. They had that pun room.
It was,
did-
it was, it was a capundrum.
Yeah. The laziest one yet.
But you know, we got to the Hard Rock Cafe. That's where the Hard Rock Hotel. That's where we were staying, and that's obviously that's where it was. The presentation was being.
That was
made.
ground zero, yeah.
Yeah, and so there was tons of adult film stars, and luckily I met my favorite one. I mean, I made the best of the situation.
And what's his name?
Her name is Daisy Taylor.
Well, again, what's his name?
Her name is Daisy Taylor.
Do you want to talk about what the kind of pornography that Daisy does?
Sure, she does adult pornography.
Opposed to?
Teenage pornography.
No. Nope.
Hey, let me ask this. There's a rule on the internet that if it exists in the world, there's a porn that has to do with it.
Oh, bleed.
Is there bowling porn?
We talked about that on Guys in a Bowling Alley.
Yeah, we did. I was on that
And
episode.
there's not enough of it. There's not enough of
There's
it.
a big gaping market for that.
I've only seen one, and I've hamster searched it, and there's
Right.
only one,
He sought it out.
and it was, and to be honest, I was like, oh, this could be done so much better.
Just I want to put a fine point on it. I apologize.
Hey Matt, how's it going?
Everyone, search out Daisy Taylor and then get back to us, won't
Yeah.
you, please? Specifically, Blake.
Yeah, just
Who's
message
that?
us.
Who's that female bowler that you like?
Oh, Diana Z.
Oh, fuck her.
Gee, good
You-
lord.
No, I wanted to shit on something that you love because a couple weeks back you shit on The Simpsons so hard, and I was just waiting until I saw you in person.
It's acting.
I can take it.
He works for
He's
you.
a serial killer.
Yeah, I would take it too far.
You're gonna wanna.
But But we went to Las Vegas.
We made the most of it.
We thought it was one thing. It was another. And obviously, sometimes in film, that's what happens as well.
And we went to see the Blue Man Group, and it was spelled differently, and it was not at all what we wanted to see. It was an all male cast.
No, because I've seen the Blue Man Group in Vegas, and I remember because.
But this was BLEW.
Yeah, it was.
It was not what we wanted to see.
Definitely different. So,
are you sure you didn't see the Blowman Group?
They were there too, but we were smart enough to avoid that. The pun was too lazy.
Those are the guys that fuck while they're on cocaine.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Go for it.
Matt picked the wrong show to be on.
I think so.
Hold on a second. I have a question.
Are we still taxing? I could still get off the plane.
You want to tuck and roll. I want to ask Matt a question.
He wants to tuck.
You were there, I think. This is probably 20 years ago when we were at after a late night of Thursday college bowling. We would make our way to Perkins.
Oh gosh!
Do you remember there was a couple seemingly ladies of the night there that one time?
I think I had an exchange with one of them.
Can you regale
Of a
us?
financial exchange?
No.
Okay.
There were no monetary
No,
exchanges.
he had the 10
No, it's
punches
just
on
an
the card.
exchange of
I think she
fluids.
either wrote something on a napkin and sent it over. Is that?
I feel like we were waiting to be seated and they were on their way out, and our exchange was while they were like cashing out and we were going in.
Okay.
And they said, "What? Do you remember what they said?"
No.
I thought they said something about sexually, like all they'd have to do was like blow on you, like blow air on you to get you to achieve climax, something like that. But they look like ladies of the night. I don't know.
What I vaguely remember is one gal who, yes, definitely came across that way,
Right.
and her friend, maybe, who I don't know.
She probably took her
Well, but
friend.
she
Her
wa-
friend probably took the money.
The lady of the night appeared to be inebriated. From what I remember, the other lady appeared to be the one that was going to be doing either the driving or chaperoning of some kind.
Or the blowing.
Or the exchanging of money.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that too.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember.
She's the one that. She's the one.
I
that
can
had
remember
the,
parts of that.
Yeah.
She's the one that had the iPhone with a little clip and they swipe the.
No,
credit card.
my friend. This
Oh.
is 2000, 2001, or 2000, probably 1 or 2.
This is 01 Perkins.
I think this is between the towers falling, right about there.
Oh.
So 2001,
Way to bring the show down.
September 11th. We talk about September 11th all the time, okay? Why is that, Blake?
Podcasts are great when there's dead air.
I don't know.
Because we never forget.
Oh. God damn it.
Do we have any fan feedback?
We do have a lot of fan feedback, but we'll do those.
We're never going to
We
do it.
we did those last week.
Oh, we did? Oh, great. All right.
Jason was too drunk. He doesn't remember.
Well, do you want me to do one or two real quick? I mean,
Yeah,
Matt,
while you're pulling that up,
I just worry that Matt doesn't have time.
Matt's got more to say, though, while you're pulling that up.
Okay, sure.
Do I have more to say?
It seemed like there's something you wanted to say.
I was processing all of this. We've really circled the wagon here a few times.
And I apologize. It kind of went some places that it shouldn't have went with you. Here.
And I said, let's do it another time, and he insisted that we do it now.
I've never walked on here and asked for an apology, but this might be the first.
Yeah,
I kid.
Just
I
fix your
kid.
gaze on him, please.
Don't worry, I'm
Yeah.
not going to tag you in this episode. Season 21, episode 4. This is from Facebook. That was Lipshit Saves the World.
So like about a year and a half ago.
Yeah. GD put hashtag gorillas are great.
It's so long ago that I don't get the reference at all. Do you want to translate for us, Lucas?
Do I want to translate gorillas are great?
Yeah.
Gorillas are great. Blake and I both love gorillas.
He does. He sponsors a gorilla, right?
Well, it's over now.
I love Gorilla Goals. There's a basketball reference for you. I always wanted one growing up.
What is that?
1,500 bones, though. It was not a roll away goal. You could actually mount it, right? And
What do you mean a goal for basketball?
basketball hoop,
So-
like
okay.
a driveway
Okay.
basketball hoop. But famously, you could hang on these rims for like 3 days and they weren't going to budge.
Really?
But $1,500, that was like, that wasn't going to happen.
I'll do it for half the price.
You'll hang on a, you'll build one?
For half the price, I will hang on the gorilla goal.
They were put together with Gorilla Glue.
That's all it
That's
was.
it.
And
That's
Gorilla
it.
Tape.
Yeah.
Season 21, episode 5. Annihilator? What was it? Annihilator?
Am I supposed to know who this is?
No, that's the name of the episode.
Say it again.
Annihilarator.
Annihilator.
Yeah.
Are you fucking with me?
Anyway, Chris Tuck, and I thought this was appropriate to do. This is appropriate to do while Matt's here. Chris Tuckley says, Matthew 5:9, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called
Hold
the
on.
children
Can
of
you-
God.
For they shall be called sons of God.
Well, this says children of God.
Yeah.
And it says, I'm looking at you, Blake.
You're a new King James.
I'm a new
version,
king.
right?
Yes, sir.
That's
yes,
right.
sir.
New
Good
Kings on
man.
the
What a
Block?
memory. New Kings on the Block.
Here's one.
I'm also a message guy, which I get heckled at within my own faith.
Hey, you got to have faith. This is from October 20th on YouTube. Somebody commented on season 10, episode 2, which was Australia's naughtiest home video.
Literally, probably 2 years ago. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
Craig says, fact check. The show was actually rebroadcast in 2008, not 2000. It was found in the archives in its entirety. A surprise considering it was thought to be long lost.
Was that comment that you just read? Was it did you read it as aggressively as it was written, or did you put a spin on that? Because
I think it was meant to be aggressive.
Okay.
Aggressive.
I tell you what,
aggressive.
Craig. I tell you what, Craig.
Craig.
Respond again and see what happens.
Yeah. Fact check. The show was actually rebroadcast in 2008, not 2000. It was found in the archives in its entirety. A surprise considering thought it was lost for a long time. Anyway, let's just move on.
That's Craig, you said?
Craig.
Hey, Craig, I'm going to come down to Australia and kick your ass. How about that?
One more.
Okay.
You're right. These are a lot of these are outdated. If the UK doesn't get its shit together by next Friday, I'm immigrating to Illinois to become a podcaster and move in with Blake Clayton. I still have his address. Blake might be seeing you on the 14th.
Who's that?
Chris Tuckley.
This is still Chris.
All right.
My response was, you're more than welcome to, my friend. Molly Clayton would gladly give up her spot in bed. And then Dee Dee says, I'm sorry, Chris Tuckley, but that room is booked for me just in case these brush fires get any closer. By the way, they got a lot closer.
Wow.
Good Lord.
Yeah, so, and then there's a picture of Diana Z, by the way, if anyone wants to see that.
That'll be fine. Hey, Matt, listen to this.
Hit me. I feel like you could, yeah.
Oh, I got to do one more because, hey, Kevin, come in here.
What do you think about that?
I would be using and abusing that.
What do you think about that song? You like it?
Absolutely, heck yeah. Lay that down any chance you get.
I should have read this last week, but since you're both here,
Please spay and neuter.
okay.
Sorry, I missed that. Could you say it again, please?
What are you doing?
I'm reading one more because Kevin and Matt are both here.
Okay.
Okay, this is on New Year's Day. Just had one of the most amazing experiences.
My apologies.
Is that me? Why is that going off?
This is kind of important. This is like actually like.
I'm going to shut my phone down.
I
don't know
remember
why
this
did
one.
that.
I remember this one. Is this Dee Dee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can I go ahead and go? Are you done fucking around now?
What's up?
Okay. Dee Dee says, I just had one of the most amazing experiences of my life. Because of modern day technology, I was able to have a beer with one of my closest friends who lives in Chicago, Illinois, USA. It's close enough. Blake Clayton, thank you for turning my life around. One day, my friend, I will be able to push the button so it does. I will be able to give you a hug that you truly deserve in person. Merry Christmas to you, Molly, Eli, Jason, Maddie, Kevin, and everyone else who has adopted me as an honorary child of Illinois. Love you guys. My response was, Dee Dee, it was the highlight of my Christmas. Kevin and Matthew, we all love you and thank you for being a listener, but most of all, a dear friend. Cheers, mate.
Yeah, cheers to that.
I didn't tag you because you're not on Facebook.
You're talking to me.
And there's another picture of Dee Dee, of Diana Z.
Very good.
Yep.
Okay, all right.
Cheers,
think-
Dee Dee.
I think everybody in the Couch Pilots family can agree that, I mean, Dee Dee's awesome, right?
Sure, no.
Yeah.
She's the reason why we continue to do this show, to be honest with you.
The captains have turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
Okay, I'm going to call my brother real quick. Is
Sure.
that all right? So we were, I think, did we talk? We didn't talk about this episode at all, but we had the video game convention, the third annual one. We talked to my brother a few weeks ago on the Simpsons episode of the program here about his involvement with it, and that has since wrapped up.
Yeah, I want to
And-
hear how it went.
Yeah, we'll hear how it went here. It was a lot.
So
of
it went from like 250 people to like 500 people to like 750 people, and now he was doing it in a 7,000 seat arena, and that was a big jump.
It's something like that. Yeah, it was. I think that's about right. Let's see if I can get him on the phone real quick.
Do you know how to use a phone? Or?
I had to shut it off before because Siri was going off automatically. I don't know why that was. I don't know how phones work too, but I know the speakers are on them.
Who doesn't?
Hello.
Hey Ryan, this is your brother Jason. I love you.
Hey, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey, good. We're doing the show right now, like I told you, and we wanted to call and get a follow-up on just a real quick recap of how the video game convention went.
Definitely. Should I start now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Show went well. It was our first time doing a 2-day event in a much bigger venue, as I probably said before. I think we got a bit of a cold spell during the weekend, which really kind of sucked, but overall it was good, man. We had a lot of people on Saturday. Vendors made a lot of sales. People had a good time. Had the normal amount of hiccups, but really it was great. We had a really good time.
Does the city, the council that was involved in getting it together, have they deemed it a success? Are they willing to do it again?
Did you hear that? Because that's exactly what they said on the news article.
No, I didn't read the news article. I said it's something about bringing in $85,000 into the local economy over the course of the event, but I didn't know if you could verify that or what the council had to say about it.
I have no idea how they got that number. I haven't heard anything about that. But I was actually trying to do the math about whether or not they lost or made money at the event itself. So I think that...
But they said they would do it again?
I think we're doing it again. Well, they're doing it again. I don't know how I feel about the partnership. I'm going to do my convention for sure next year. It's been growing, and I love it. It's a lot of fun to do.
So you're going to do it again next year in January, or are you going to do it next year in May? Are you going to do it separate from them, or what?
I think the weather played a big part in not being more successful. So
did you have
probably move it to spring.
Did you have a 1-year contract with them, or was it just a verbal agreement for this one time, or what?
1-year contract. So
nice.
We're going to revisit after. We're going to have a meeting in like a month, and I think I gave it a shot, and it was nice that they paid for everything. But in the end, I don't know. When you got 14 people on the committee, you'd imagine somebody else would want to help out, but I ended up doing everything anyway. So
Ryan,
I'd go make more money doing it.
Ryan is a mover and a shaker. That's what I've said.
Yeah, we've always said
No
that
doubt about it.
And you know what? I like the fact that he's like, you know what, City, I'm going to give you a chance. You know what? I could have done it better by myself. F you guys in the A.
Wow, you didn't say that. You didn't say that, did you, Ryan?
Yeah, I still can. The meeting's not for like another couple weeks.
Yeah, you do it. I'll have the car running outside, and you can say it.
Yeah, well, I got better news though, actually. So obviously Billy Mitchell was there, and that was a lot of fun. He's,
Billy Mitchell, one of the stars and record holders of
King Kong
of Donkey Kong, the King of Kong documentary. Yes.
Fucking nerds.
Yeah, the King Kong, Pac-Man All-Star. He was there. He was playing some arcade machines. He kill screen Pac-Man live, which was pretty cool. Almost got a perfect score, which not been done live for a long time. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. Anyway, we had a really good conversation. We talked for a while. He said that he was talking to Walter Day, which is the owner of the Twin Galaxies arcade, and
the famed Twin Galaxies arcade that it really does hold a lot of the worldwide records for these old arcade machines, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yes.
they're like the first ones to ever start keeping.
And they're out of Iowa, if I'm not mistaken.
That sounds right.
Okay.
Now Walter also does a trading card for kind of like baseball cards. But
Yeah,
for
I saw
video
some.
games.
I met Billy Mitchell. I talked to him at the musical, and they had some of those like video game playing cards there. I saw some of those.
So listen to this. Billy said he was going to nominate me for a playing card this year.
Wow.
How about that? Heck yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah,
wild.
just for all. And wouldn't that be weird? I was like, I don't think I deserve that, dude.
Yeah, I don't think you
No,
deserve it
no.
either. But
You know what? To be honest with you, I think this is what your wife has been wanting for a long time.
yeah, Katie's often pulled me aside and said the end goal really is here for me to
Take
get
your
Ryan
relationship to a whole new level, Ryan.
Well, okay, so just one last thing. Are you happy with how it went? Do you feel like it was a success? Did you learn anything extra this year?
Oh my God, more than years past, I think. I think it was successful, but it could have been so much more successful. So I think there was definitely a lot learned this year for sure.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. I was there on Saturday and then the musical Sunday. I had a lot of fun. Matthew was with me. He's sitting here today.
Had a great time, man.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Yeah, hey, brother.
So we had a lot of fun. Thank you so much for doing that and for taking the call.
Definitely. All right, thanks, guys.
Good job, man.
Sure.
All right, man. Good job,
See ya.
Ryan.
Bye.
Proud of you, brother. Because
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. There's an update.
That's cool.
It's a follow through.
no, that's cool.
We had him on and we followed through.
No,
we
that's
did
cool.
It's good.
Your brother has always been into something all the time, right? He has like projects, whether it's a store or something like this. He's kind of a guy that has to be doing something,
it.
right?
That's right. He has laurels, but nary does he lay upon them.
The last time I saw your brother is probably 2 years ago, out at the Red Barn. We were both out there playing open mic.
Okay.
And it took me like 3 days after being out there to realize that's who that was.
Yeah.
So I didn't talk to him. And I was like, fuck, I know that guy.
He's still in the band. He still plays around a little bit. And I know for about 2 years ago, they were doing some open mics in the Peoria area. Yeah. Cool.
I didn't say he was memorable. I just said he's a mover and a shaker.
Right.
Cool.
Okay. Well, today we discussed the pilot episode of Atypical from the year of our Lord 2017. Great year.
Great year. 2017 was one of those years you just look back and you go, that's a great year.
I remember looking back and be like, God, I bet there was 365 days in that year.
Yeah?
I don't know.
No?
There's so many days to be able to do something with.
Right. That's exactly what I mean. And also, too, it's one of those pilots that has occurred since the beginning of this program.
Sure.
And in the short window we've been doing the show, 4 or 5 years.
We haven't done many of
Would
those.
that have, yeah.
We've done a handful, but yeah, this is one of the very few. So if it falls into that.
Right. They did this show so it could be talked about.
I mean, probably. Anyway. 2017, 2020 now, 3 years ago. We have to get back in the mind frame of 2017 so we can properly digest this pilot. So we have to go back to 2017.
In our minds.
So we'll talk about some things that happened that year. February 5th of 2017, heavy metal rock band Black Sabbath played their last concert in their hometown, Birmingham, England. That's a really good one. Can I play my favorite one real quick by them? Ozzy's voice has changed so much over the years.
Yeah, for sure.
Drug abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll do it.
It used to be a very powerful voice. Now it's more of just like I could keel over at any time.
Yeah.
Right.
Like on life support of some kind.
The greatest Ozzy Osbourne music video of all time.
Right.
Which a lot of our listeners probably don't remember music videos.
They're real.
Shot in the Dark was like the best.
That's some 80s stuff, right? That's some
Yeah.
80s rock. That's solo.
How long did they have their reality TV show where the
The
Osbournes?
Osbournes? I think 2 or 3 seasons.
Gosh, it felt longer than that for whatever reason. Yeah.
Kelly is smoking hot now.
Is she?
Yeah, she's
Is that his-
smoking.
is that his
That's
daughter?
the daughter. Don't call her daughter.
Doesn't she have a lantern jaw?
She looks super fine.
But she's got one of those like well-defined jaws that like a fella should have, right?
right, but
Like a
she's
Reese Witherspoon.
Right.
but she has been on a couple times on RuPaul's drag show.
Oh yeah.
But
she's a girl.
Right, she's a judge,
Okay, gotcha.
and she's super hot. She's been to 2 or 3 times. I've seen her on.
Lucas, you like Ozzy Osbourne?
Some stuff, not a whole lot.
Who's your favorite rocker whose voice is deteriorated by drugs?
I don't know, Axl Rose.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good one. That's a good one.
He's a fucking mess, isn't he?
Yeah, he looks like someone took his face and like pressed it against a hot stove.
Oh,
Although I saw them a couple of years ago up in Chicago at Soldier Field, and they killed it.
Was
Really,
Duff
it
there?
Was good. It was do what?
Was Duff there?
Yeah, it was.
The drummer wasn't there.
Yeah, no.
He gone.
What happened to him?
He's gone. He dead.
Who's the drummer?
He was the one that was on the rehab show all the
Steven
time.
Adler.
Isn't he dead?
I don't think he's dead, but he can't fucking keep up.
Right.
Um,
That's what she said.
That's pretty good. Hold on a second. Well earned. Okay. February 6th, Qatar Airways achieves the longest ever commercial flight in service when its B777 aircraft lands in Auckland after a 16-hour and 23 minutes flight from Doha. Do you know where Auckland is?
Sure don't.
I think it's in
New Zealand.
New
I
Zealand?
think that's exactly right.
Yep.
New Zealand.
I was going to guess Australia, but...
What's
yep.
the longest flight you ever took? Because you went to Taiwan, right?
Yeah, the longest continuous flight was probably 15 hours
Good grief.
to Tokyo in Japan, and then
From where? Where'd you start?
Chicago.
O'Hare International Airport
From Chicago.
to Tokyo.
15 to Tokyo, and then another 2 or 3 into Taiwan.
Good gravy.
Yeah, that was a long one.
Good gravy.
And I cannot. So I think Jay and I talked about this last weekend. Is that I can't sleep on a plane. I can't sleep on a car.
Yeah.
Why would you just sleep
in
on
a car, rather? Excuse me. I can't sleep on top of a car.
Lord knows he's tried. Yeah, I would go nuts. Have you ever been on a plane that long?
I've never been on a plane.
It's like 4.5 hours, 5 hours, as long as I've ever been on a plane.
I think me too. Yeah.
But if I was going to Tokyo, I think I could.
Why are you saying it like that?
I could grin and bear it for sure.
Why are you grin and bearing it right now? Why do you
what
say it
would
like
be-
that?
What would be? And we were just in the airport in Tokyo.
Yeah. What would you be doing? What are you so happy
I
about?
actually slept on the floor of the airport in Tokyo.
I would go and bowl there because they have some of the coolest bowling alleys.
I don't think that's why.
I watch a lot of bowling Instagrams. I follow a lot of
Do you really? Okay, now I'm starting
people
to
from
believe
Tokyo for sure.
you. The embarrassment is
I
washing.
forget
over
who
your
makes
face,
the
I bet.
joke, and I'm gonna butcher it. But
Jim
someone
Gaffigan.
what about apologies to Japan? No, apologies to Godzilla
Oh, I don't
because of the porn scene in Japan.
Oh, I wasn't talking about that. No, it was strictly bowling. I don't care about.
Is that Tokyo Airport? Is that floating? Is that the floating airport they have out there?
Believe it or not, I don't recall. Like I said, we flew in.
I believe you.
It'd been 15 hours. I had not
It's
slept.
been-
Yeah.
And I laid on the floor in the terminal and I fell asleep for maybe half an hour.
Do you think terminal's a bad word for it? I know you and I went to school for it.
sounds
and we
a
do
little-
it. It sounds like it's the end of your days, doesn't it? You go to an airport, and you go to the terminal. I'm already afraid of getting the GD airplane the way it is because we don't belong up there. And then to call it a terminal?
You know, I hadn't
That's what they said about my peepaw before he died. He was terminal.
thought about it that way, but I'll.
Please keep that in mind going forward. Is that why you've never flown before, Lucas?
Absolutely.
Because of my peepaw?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Molly chose not to go to Reno because the only option was to fly
Right.
after I had already
Right.
bought my ticket.
Right.
Because it's non-refundable.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get out of that, by the way? How do you get out of
A non-refundable
Yeah.
ticket?
It's
absolute.
impossible.
Well, it depends on also who you bought it through.
Expedia.
Yeah, you buy it through a third-party site. Kiss it, man.
Yeah, I kissed it. But she refuses to fly in a plane.
This is my
And
solution.
I was like, you're a stewardess on a plane every week.
Right.
Why are you scared to fly commercial?
Is that for your bowling thing?
Mm-hmm. What it is she knows that we are the best two pilots
Correct.
in the continental United States, and she won't fly with anybody else.
Well, and she knows Eli and I can't afford to lose her luggage because he's grounded, and I can get banned from the pilot's lounge.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
There's a lot at stake. That's why
You actually, let me interject real quick. You actually shouldn't be in the pilot's lounge.
I was invited by Blake because he actually likes me.
Is that right, Blake? Did you invite him in there?
One night I was having some beers, and he knocked on the door, and I had plenty of like Chex Mix left, and I'm like, come on in, sit at the bar. Dan was working at the bar, and
You know that Chex Mix expired.
In case you don't remember, Blake was going to replace you with me when you had your falling out. and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
Matt messed that up for me, but getting you guys back
Matt,
together.
Matt was the glue.
I had to put it back together, Lucas.
But
Matt
me
is
and
human
Noel-
adhesive.
Me and Lucas watched some Tully, and in the pilot's lounge we ate Chex Mix. I drank some beers. He had some Mountain Dews. Dan was great, greatest bartender we've ever had.
Whatever.
Steven Adler alive in 54. By the way.
Yeah, I saw that too. I was going to say that, and then we got talking about bowling in Taiwan.
naturally.
February 12th, and I think we can get this person either on the phone or they might even be here with us. But the 59th Grammy Awards, Adele wins Best Song, Hello, and Best Album, 25. Have you seen Adele's amazing weight loss?
Oh,
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
There she is.
Adele, thank you for coming and being on the plate.
Thank you. Yeah, I lost a bit of weight there for a little bit, but I think it's. Are you talking about my album?
Well, the new album, but we were talking about your amazing 3-stone weight loss.
Yeah, it's about a 3 stone is what I lost. You're about right there. Yeah, so it's a bit. I just say thank you to everybody that says that I look good. You know, it's just thank you.
You know,
It's basically it.
Was it exercise?
It was both. You know, they say a diet it starts in the kitchen, and so what I got to do is I got to get all the foods and all the good stuff and nutritions and all that, and you sort yourself out, and then you fucking oh, excuse my language.
That's okay.
I'm allowed
That's okay,
to curse
Adele.
on this. Yeah. So it's I just say thank you. You know, it's a blessing
Now,
to be in there. Yeah.
Adele, you won a Grammy. What year was that? 2017.
Yeah, correct. That's my album 28.
25.
25. Oh, excuse me. Oh, sorry. I'm ahead of myself a little bit there.
Can you? I mean, you're here. We don't want to pass up this opportunity to hear
Right.
that voice. Can you please sing something from that
that would be
album?
great.
Make me a little bit wet, and then I'll do it for you, mate.
All right. You want me to?
I'll make you a lot wet, sweetheart.
Make me a little bit wet, and then you just put it on the
Yeah.
number 2 there. Yeah,
There you go, number 2.
Yeah. All right, so. Every man I find someone like you, I wish nothing but the best for you too. And that's just something that. it's just
you almost hit that high note. That's the one I like.
Don't forget me, I beg. I remember we used to. See, that's a song. It's just I wrote it about. It's something that it broke up with my boyfriend, and it's just something that I'm just working on for a while.
You're de-wetter.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
I've de-wet many women before.
Yeah,
I believe you.
But I just want to stop by and say thank you. Thank you for all this.
No,
Absolutely.
thank you. I appreciate.
Thank you.
Wow, we are in the presence of greatness.
Yeah, Adele famously has broken another one of my.
What a gift.
And with Adele, we are safely and securely back in 2017, the year in which I was 36 years old.
I was the big 42. 42.
35 right
42.
here. What about you, Lucas?
33.
Nice.
Great ages. Great ages,
Great
everyone.
age. Great age.
Great age.
Let's see.
I always forget I have to do math on this.
Yeah.
I was told there'd be no math.
We do tell everyone that up front just to mess with them. I'll ask both Lucas and Matthew. Maybe they can say it in unison why we chose to watch Atypical.
All yours, man. I always do it. It's up to you.
All right. Well, for one, I don't know. We messed up one of the rules because
You did.
yeah, no, you guys did because
Right,
obviously
but
this
that-
went to series.
But that's that's a rule. So it had to go to series.
Right.
had to be available to find.
Right.
Yep.
Had to be free.
Damn right.
It's pretty free. Right.
And then this year, just selections, or this season selections by you guys.
Yeah.
That's
I guess it's not free. I mean, you have to pay $9.99 a month.
Well, I always
I
say
think
if
they're
you-
up to.
Well, if you're my family and friends, then Netflix is absolutely free for you because everybody uses my account.
Can you go ahead and say your account on the air?
Yeah, what's your account number?
It's Lucas Bagboy at gofuckyourself.com.
Nice.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of
I
that.
love that
It's
one.
a free.
And,
Yeah.
and the password is I checked your panties
Good Lord.
in the baggage. I guess that's what that's from.
I guess I don't know what his password is.
You
It
do-
is
you do
free,
know.
though. It is free. If you don't already have Netflix, you can get like a free month trial. And we pray that you do.
Absolutely.
Where can you find the entire episode of Atypical to watch for yourself? Well, you can do so by subscribing to Couch Pilots and SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of our classically blue links in the show notes,
You got it.
or click onto Netflix and get into the net mix. I don't know, guys.
Get into the nut mix.
Get into the Chex mix.
Get into the Chex Mix.
Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff.
I'm very excited for this flight. DSJ is back. Look at him swinging those cones like it's nobody's business.
We are firing on all cylinders.
He looks fresh.
It's the family. The family's back together.
Yeah, he looks fresh.
reunited.
I like how when Matt's on, you guys are usually, no cussing, and I'm just bringing all that down. I'm tearing all that apart.
Lucas, we've never been on a show together, man.
We haven't.
Yeah, Mazel tov.
You guys can hold hands the rest of the flight if you want. Summary of the pilot. Interested in having a girlfriend, Sam researches dating advice and puts it to the test. Meanwhile, his overprotective mom, Elsa, must learn to let go.
Let it go. Let it go.
That's what I was going to say. When did Frozen come out? I've not even seen one.
I saw it
know
for the
that
first. I
Elsa-
just saw it for the first time recently.
I never saw it.
2013, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow, I would have guessed like 2007.
Yeah, and I just saw it. It was
The first one you just saw the first
It
one?
was ridiculous,
Yeah,
but I
I've
love the
never
soundtrack.
Okay.
I have no interest in it. I've never seen it. I have
never
no
seen-
interest in it.
yeah.
I was dating a lady at the time who was really into it, and I could not care less.
Did you punch her in the face?
What, did it torpedo the relationship?
It did. She said, "Come."
Are you sure it was that torpedoed the relationship?
That or the actual torpedo I sent into her side?
Why'd you put
Was
it
she
in
a
her
submarine?
Why'd you put it in her side?
Don't you worry about where I put it. Interesting facts.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to season 22, episode 8, Interesting Facts. Hey, Jason has scoured the internet, and he has found facts about this show that you may not know. They were hard to find. He scoured hardcore. Please don't taint anyone's experience. Listen to these facts, accept these facts, and don't give your opinions about these facts. Hit it, don't quit it, brother.
Okay, atypical. Kill the music.
Thank you. It's back.
Good Lord. Did you make that wet?
No.
Okay, thank you. Atypical is a coming-of-age television series created by Robia Rashid for Netflix. It focuses on the life of 18-year-old Sam Gardner, who is on the autism spectrum. The first season was released on August 11th, 2017, consisting of 8 episodes. Fact.
There's nothing you can say about it.
Fact.
Well, he can say that. That's good. Do you have anything you want to say about it?
No.
Say fact.
Fact.
Yeah. See, we can all say that.
That's what I meant.
How about on the count of 3 each time? We all say fact together. Well, once I read the next fact.
Oh, okay.
Matt was so ready to do it right now.
He was like, yeah, shot out of a cannon.
The coming-of-age series, originally known as Antarctica, was created and written by, again, Robia Rashid, who previously worked on How I Met Your Mother and The Goldbergs as a producer. For a more accurate portrayal, she consulted with Michelle Dean, a California State University professor who worked on UCLA's Center for Autism Research and Treatment. 3, 2, 1.
Fact.
I missed it.
No, it's good. It's good.
I missed it.
Hold on, you got it.
Nope.
You got it next time.
Nope.
We got like 100 more facts. The first season received mostly positive reviews, though the show was criticized for its lack of autistic actors and perceived inaccuracies in its depiction of autism. This was remedied in subsequent seasons. 3, 2, 1.
Fact.
Okay, better.
Close.
Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than... No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Yes, I can.
I said okay. I don't know why.
Is that from Oklahoma?
Oh,
That was from Frozen.
Oklahoma.
That's from Frozen.
Is that Frozen? See, I gotta see that movie.
That's the only part I have seen.
Should we tell him? I'm gonna tell him.
Tell him. Tell who what?
The snowman. Tell the snowman. He wants to be. He wants to be in summer. He's gonna melt.
We'll do it off, Mike. This episode was directed by Seth Gordon, producer of such films as Freakonomics and Pixels, and director of King of Kong.
Tying it back to your brother.
3, 2, 1. Fact.
Fact.
You guys didn't.
Fact.
Nope. Yep.
King. That's good.
Does that not tie it? We're talking about the King of
Yeah,
Kong.
the very same.
Yep.
The supporting
It
character.
was
Talk
amazing.
about tying
That
it
was
all
a-
together, man.
That was a cool show because he worked for UPS and was super fat, but he had a hot ass wife at home.
Who are we talking about here?
That's the King of Queens.
Oh shit!
That's the Kevin James
My bad.
vehicle.
Talking about Kevin Hart.
No, we don't talk about Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart and Leah Remini
Nope.
are the King of Queens.
No, we are not talking about Kevin Hart in this show.
The supporting character Christopher is played by Anthony Jacques, who is autistic. 3, 2, 1. Fact. The title meaning, I don't know, this might be right. Okay, for this episode is Antarctica. Sam talks a lot about Antarctica because it is his favorite place. 3, 2, 1.
Fact.
That's kind of a lame fact because it's very obvious.
I agree. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Did you have to scrounge for some of these? Because I was looking for some today.
I did a little bit of scrounging, not
Fair.
much.
So did I miss that? He is autistic, or one of the supporting?
One of the supporting fellas
Okay.
is autistic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Later on, not in season 1, I don't think.
The first girl Sam goes out on a date with is named Bree, and Brie Larson was the name of his sister in the television program The United States of Terra. 3, 2, 1. Fact. Last fact includes the song Black Mambo performed by the Glass Animals. 3, 2, 1.
Fact.
Fact.
End of interesting facts.
Nice. Good job.
Twitter responses.
Twitter responses. Wonder if Jason got some Twitter responses.
Nailed that.
No, I didn't.
What? Are you kidding me?
I put it out there. I did it. I put a ton out there. I didn't get anything.
The show's too fucking hot. That's what it is.
I really
the show
don't.
is hot
It's
right
still
now.
in production. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
what they can and can't say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody saw you just wave your hand
We just did The Simpsons, the most prolific cartoon of all time, and we had responses from some of the most integral voice actors on the show, and we didn't hear anything from these animals, these glass animals, as it were.
I think that's it. You're trying to like undercut me during this to get more.
I just don't want excuses as to why they didn't respond.
I don't think you contacted the right people.
If the entire cast of the first episode and the writer, director, and producer are the wrong people, then I apologize to you.
Sorry.
Aviation question of the week.
Ooh.
We'll start with Lucas. We'll go to Matt, and then finally Blake. Aviation question of the week. What make plane go?
What makes planes go?
What make plane go? Aviation question of the week.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Just say engine man. Just say it.
Engine
man?
Engine man.
Okay.
Just say engine man. What makes planes go?
Do I need to repeat the question?
Well, I thought you were going to ask me a different question.
No, it's the same question. What make plane go?
Well, I'm going to go with engine.
So you say engine man, and you say engine.
Between the two of us.
Yeah, the little short person inside the engine pedaling, like the Flintstones car.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Blake?
Centrifugal force.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Let's go ahead and break down the pilot of the show here. Well, beat by beat.
Centrifugal.
Beat by beat. Let's
So
see.
this is a 45-minute pilot. We only have 10 minutes, so
Are all the episodes about that
Yeah.
length? Okay.
for sure.
Was it 45 minutes? Mine was like 37 minutes.
Yeah, I was sub 30.
was
I
it?
was sub 40.
I just want to make sure I caught it all.
Were you
I
underwater?
was sub.
Yeah, he's a submariner.
Let me start it off.
So I
Okay, go ahead.
torpedoed the.
All right, so Sam is kind of talking, narrating. You see him flicking a rubber band.
Sam is the main act. He's the main guy.
Yeah, he's the main kid. He is talking to his therapist, who is fucking gorgeous. Julia, her name is
Agreed.
Julia.
A young Asian lady.
Yeah.
Actually,
It's been-
who knows how old she is? The Asians are very ambiguous with their age. She could
They
have
actually. May I?
No,
Oh,
In
please.
I think it because I watched the second episode and I think that's what they're talking about. She's like
55.
20. She's great looking for 50. 26, 27, somewhere in
Oh,
there.
very bad looking for that age. Okay.
I have a lot of experience with Asians. They look hot for a really long time, and then all of a sudden they wake up one morning and they are hideous.
It's like someone pushed them off a cliff or pushed their face into a
And
hot
she-
iron.
You know, it's his therapist, and she's talking to him, and and she says, "Hey, can I ask a favor of you? Will you donate your brain?" And he was like, "What?" She was like, "Oh, wait, not until you die."
Did your eyes roll the back of your head during any of the parts of the viewing of this, Lucas?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lots of them.
All right, you let us know. You just raise your hand and scream whenever that happens, okay?
Because I'm going to try to barrel through this, so I might be kind of overbearing. But Sam is explaining riding the bus, and
He's very sensitive to physical things. He's a high-functioning autistic guy, and he knows about a lot of Antarctica. He knows a lot about it. And again,
penguin.
there's to piggyback off what you said, there is a lot of narration throughout the show.
Sure.
And it's him. It's him doing the narrating.
right.
And they should have had Violent Femmes waiting for the bus as music in the background when he's talking about the
But
bus.
instead, they had Black Mambo by the Glass Animals.
Hey, thank God it wasn't number 5. He was talking about how Antarctica is actually a desert.
Did you know that, Matt?
Because it gets less than 8 inches of rainfall a year
year,
or something
right.
like that. Yeah.
Blake knows a lot about less than 8 inches. Is that right?
That was good. I'll give you that. I'm trying to go through here. Then we see him doing a drawing of a penguin. He loves penguins. That's one of his favorite parts.
Flightless bird. Yeah.
Yes.
Eyes rolled in the back of my head. I love penguins too.
Thank you.
The next scene, the family is eating a dinner. It's Elsa, Casey, Doug, and they're all at dinner. Elsa is the mother, who is played by. She has 3 names.
Jennifer Jason Lee is the
Yeah.
only lady I know with a fella's name in the middle there.
Yeah. And
Jason, traditionally, not a gender-neutral name.
no. And then Doug is
Michael Rappaport.
Michael Rappaport.
I will
Right.
say this. I love Michael Rappaport.
Yeah.
Same.
And
For
Matt and
those
I,
who-
we're going to high-five that shit.
For those who can't see me,
Yeah.
that's my guy.
We had a 4-way
That
high
is my
five going there.
Yeah,
You
that
did.
is my guy.
He's great. Michael Rappaport's great.
we know this is where we first kind of get a glimpse of the family dynamic. Okay, Casey is Sam's sister. She's a smartass. She's always fighting her wife.
How old is she?
She's in high school.
But like Sam is a senior in high school, but she looks his age or older. But is she a junior or what is she? Do we know?
I think she's younger. You're right. She's younger because
Okay.
she goes to a private.
She's got to be a
She-
junior. Yeah.
Spoiler alert: she ends up going to a private school.
I want to point
Shoot.
out that in real life she's in her 20s, so it's okay to say that she's pretty fucking hot.
Okay, nice.
Intro. We have the intro to the show after the dinner scene, and then we're at school, and Sam is basically saying no, he wants to date, but at school he feels like he is invisible to women.
Right, and this is the first time you see his headphones. He has noise-canceling headphones on.
Because, again, he's sensitive to physical things like sound.
He gets overstimulated very easy.
Right. What overstimulates you, Matt?
Well, where do you want to start?
Let's start below the belt. And then work even further down.
The Lakers.
Well, the Lakers are all above the belt, I'll tell you that much.
Amen to that.
Okay, so then we end up going, and the next scene is at Techtropolis, which is where Sam works with his buddy Zahid.
It's kind of like a Best Buy, sort of.
Right. And we find in this episode it happens a little bit, but Zahid is like his cool guy friend that like...
I didn't feel like he was cool. And you see the first episode, he came off as this kind of like almost equally nerdy guy who's able to navigate things socially, but just kind of a nerdy, horny
Did that not feel a little ripped off from 40-Year-Old Virgin? Did anybody, can you
sure.
Which
see
guy?
The
tie there? No, just that whole like scenario that they've built.
The fake tech store?
They work at a
tech store. He's got an Indian friend who's just savvy with the ladies, or supposedly something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
He puts on the front, but he's like clueless how ridiculous he comes off.
For sure.
Sam wants to find a girlfriend, and he goes on a dating website. His turtle's name is Edison, which is talked about throughout all three seasons. And then we have Elsa and Doug, and their first like interaction with each other, where you see conflict. This is very prevalent. This is has to happen in the first episode. They've been married for a long time. Elsa is very protective of Sam, and Doug is the working husband who tries to do the best he can. And he's like, hey, how about we go on a date night? Let's have a little hanky panky. And she's like, I'm too stressed out. I'm worried about a lot of things.
Yeah, it's very clear that they've put their marriage on hold for a long time.
Thank you.
Doug has wanted to breathe some life back into it. I think she's frustrated that he hasn't connected with the kids or maybe invested as much into the kids.
She thinks that he hasn't connected the way she has.
For sure.
And that's the difference.
But to her point, to use the word spectrum again, she's at one full end of the spectrum.
Sure.
A helicopter parent by definition.
Yeah, so I was going to say, take very different approaches.
No doubt.
He's all for him dating. He wants his son to date and get out there, but she's like, he's not ready for this.
And this scene is very obviously that they're drifting apart, and that's a very big part of this whole storyline.
Yep.
And he's like, comes in the next day, he's like, hey, I found this pamphlet. Why don't you go to this dad's class? You used to dance in college. And she's like, you know what, maybe I will, So she goes, and... Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry. I am ahead of myself because I skipped the boob part. 1, 2, 3, boob part. Okay, so Elsa goes to talk to Julia because Sam says, hey, Julia...
Oh, there was a prevalent boobage here. Maximum boobage.
Maximum boobage.
Oh, where she's just like leaning over and... What was that about?
I don't even think she was leaning over. I think she had a low-cut shirt. She was talking to the
and
counselor.
she had like her purse or something.
The cleavage was in full
underneath.
effect.
It was way.
That's pretty ridiculous.
So I'll go past that. And Elsa does not want Sam to be independent.
Right.
Because she can't live her life with him being independent, because then what is her self-worth, right?
There's definitely that piece of it. I also think she's genuinely terrified about what's going to happen to him.
Yeah.
So she goes to the counselor, Julia. She says, hey, please kind of steer your conversations with my son away from dating. Kind of discourage him to do that because he's not ready. And the counselor's kind of like, I think he is. If this is something that he wants to do, we should try to guide him the best as possible.
Only 9% of people within the spectrum get married. Can you believe that?
I guess. I don't know. She leaves upset, though. She wanted the counselor to be like, yes, I will
she
do what
flips
you
him
say.
off like she's a professional wrestler.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Sam's researching dating online. That was a cameo from the guy that was on the YouTube. I didn't write it down. I know him from somewhere. From Bajillion Dollar Properties.
I don't know. So, yeah, Sam's basically saying, if I'm going to date, I need to do it right. And he loves to do research, so he's looking online. He's observing schoolmates and how they interact with women. And he's also talking to his sister, Casey, he's trying to gather as much information as he can to put it to use.
And she's fucking with him. Casey fucks with Sam, but when push comes to shove, she stands up for Sam.
She's passionate about protecting him.
Sure, very much so.
I think she says something like she's the only person who can give him a hard time. No one else has that.
Right. Then the next scene is Casey is at school. These two girls are picking on this other girl, and she just walks up and punches this girl in the face. Obviously, she gets suspended.
at home, she's talking about this, and the parents are giving her crap, and she says this girl is a twat, and then Sam fixates on the word.
Right.
As I assume
just
autistic people do, will fixate on certain things. So that word keeps running through his head.
Certainly, at one end of the spectrum, it would like the fixation would be prevalent
For sure.
So no one knows this is happening to Sam. It's all in his head.
Yep.
And then Casey goes for a run. She goes at night through like the parks. This is how every episode of Law and Order starts, by the way.
But she's a runner. She's a track
Yeah,
star.
she's a runner. She's kind of bold and daring in her own way already.
And she's probably, you could say she's kind of butchy, would you say?
Yeah, but with
Tomboyish?
Yeah, but she's still got the looks. She's still got the looks.
Oh, yeah,
behind
she's
it.
like a tomboy.
cute. She's cute, but she doesn't want to be.
She shows up back at her house after a run, and that lady who she kind of defended at school's there with her older brother, and she's like, "Yeah, I made you this cake." And then as she's kind of awkwardly taking it, and then Sam runs out and yells "twat," like he's been pinching the hose.
Oh, yeah.
or cycling this through his head, and then he just explodes it on these people.
And
it
Evan's
kind
like,
of-
what the fuck's wrong with this guy?
Yeah,
and then
her brother almost gets like a little bit on edge about it at first.
Sure,
and then,
because he doesn't know.
no,
that, you know.
but he mellows out pretty quick.
Yeah. Evan is a pretty mellow fellow.
Yeah.
for
Sam
sure.
has another session with a therapist where he's trying to learn some of the finer points of flirting because he had a failed attempt at the tech store. And then it goes to mom and dad. They're out to dinner, and they start to argue fairly heavily about Sam's situation dating again.
Yeah. At first, it's like, oh, we needed this. It's a good idea.
The whole point of the evening was to, I don't know, kind of rekindle the flame.
Reset.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, they even talked about having, Elsa had a thong on.
Yep.
And
Michael Rappaport said he did too.
Yeah. But it quickly goes into Elsa being very defensive and getting upset and argumentative, which happens a lot. And she says, Doug, she's like, you don't love your son, you don't like your son, and that's just like, that was like, I was like, you probably.
There are some legitimately hard to watch scenes in
this whole series, for sure. But but it's real. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And they talk about Sam's 9th birthday. Doug talks about, he's like, I don't love my son. I don't want my son to like me, or I don't like my son. On his 9th birthday, he wanted an igloo, and I carried all these ice, bricks in, and I made this igloo, and he didn't get in it because they weren't lined up right. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So let's see. Evan comes over again to get the cake pan and asks Casey out on a date.
He didn't come over for the cake pan. Okay, he didn't come over for the cake pan. He came over to ask her out. Right? That was his reason for going, but he didn't give a shit.
I don't
about
know
the
if we'll
cake
get to it, if I may, real quick. So the first time that we meet Evan, he actually, after the exchange, he runs in and yells "twat" and the whole thing. I think at the end of that, he's sitting down with his sister and with the young man with autism, and he's sitting down next to him. And I think they kind of like flash the soul of the show, because he says, I feel weird. That's the young man with autism. But then Evan gets the line. He goes, we're all a little bit weird.
Right, that's later on after.
That's a little later on.
It's
okay.
when Sam actually hits on a girl at the and is almost
That's
has
right.
sex.
I'm sorry, man.
No,
I
it's
shot
fine.
the wad.
Almost has sex with a redhead, which, to be honest with you, good times. And she touches him. They're in her dorm.
Yep.
Touches him lightly. He needs deep compressions. He needs deep. But she doesn't know he's autistic.
Yep.
And
he's the male Temple Grandin.
Right, and
they kind of let you think though for a moment like she might get it before they get to her dorm room. Like she has almost some kind of sympathy or compassion or like
sympathy sex.
I think she's pushed off kilter by the amount of honesty that he's pumping out, to where it's just like, I've never been hit with this before. This is kind of
refreshing.
Yeah, spontaneous.
Beep, refreshive. Beep, refreshive.
When you said she might get it, I thought you were like implying she might get it.
Like punch in the
D.
face?
The
D. Oh, the D.
Oh,
no. We were all over on that one.
These scenes are very quick, too. The whole time Sam's having this time with this lady, his mom is off going to this class, meeting some folks, getting invited to go. No, she's not.
No, she is.
She gets invited to go out with these ladies to kind of make some new friends, and she's talking to this bartender for a while, and things kind of get cranked up a few notches here.
There is about 4 times in my notes that I go, talking with the fucking bartender. I don't like this bartender.
Yeah.
And I think if you watch this episode, I'm not spoiling anything, but you can see that bartender is a bad apple, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Spoiler. I did
seeds
go
are
watch the
planted.
second episode. I really did.
He's
So,
making
yeah.
a move.
But
Oh, you watched
Yep.
the second episode?
I did.
Oh,
Yep.
I did not.
Yep.
That reads into my score a little bit. So, let's see. Sam then goes back to talk to his therapist, right? And then, you already mentioned that he knocked that girl off the bed, right, for taking her shirt off and touching him. So anyway, after that, Sam arrives home upset, and Casey follows him to the house. She was talking to Evan out there, and like you mentioned, Matt, they're all kind of sitting there talking there, and he's like, "Yeah, no one."
He goes, "I wish I was normal." Sam,
and then he says, "No one's normal."
Yeah, no
and
one,
I think that's like the soul of the show.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Elsa leaves the bar. She kind of realizes what's happening, and is like, I "This is not something I want." She leaves, but she absolutely led that guy on.
Oh, for hours,
no doubt. And then Dad takes Sam to see the penguins at the local aquarium. This may be one of the very few ways I think this guy can get through to his son or have an experience with him that they can both enjoy together and maybe connect in some way.
Because to connect with Sam, you have to.
You got to play by his rules.
You have to play by his rules, and you have to. It has to be within whatever he is interested in.
Yeah.
Really.
Yep.
And
that's how I feel about my dad.
Really?
If I want to hang out with my dad, I got to watch the NASCAR, and he'll make baked beans.
with hot dog?
Sure. Yeah, I don't get me wrong. I love that stuff, and I can take or leave NASCAR. But if I want to see my dad, that's what I got to do. I got to play by his rules.
Right, and that's what Doug has always done, but he's always done it from like an arm's length away.
Yep.
But Elsa's been on top of it.
And I think this shows that Doug really does care. He wants to understand. It sort of sets you get that from. He's doing it from an arm's length because he just doesn't understand, but he really does care.
And I think it's an arm's length because Elsa has always maybe pushed him
That's
an arm's
it.
length
There was
away.
no room for anyone else but Elsa.
Right.
Right.
in his
She's
life.
overbearing.
And that's right. And now that the family, in some kind of subtle ways, are turning on her, and she's being pushed out of the picture as far as his support goes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of the episode, Sam is once again at the therapist or counselor, whatever she is, Julia, the Asian lady, who looks great for her age. And Sam says, "You know what? Some of my dating experiences haven't really worked out." And he starts to fixate on Julia, and he's like, I love penguins. Penguins give a stone or a pebble to their mates, and
This
they
is
mate for
cool.
life.
Yeah.
And he translates this. He's smart enough to know I can't give her a pebble. She asked me earlier for my brain when I pass on. I'll give her my brain.
And she's like, "Oh, that's great." She has no clue, that
Yep.
that he has twatted her.
Sure. Absolutely.
Right, that he has twatted her.
He's completely twatted Julia. Wouldn't you say that's fair to say?
Yeah, for sure.
Please remain seated.
I
As
thought
we
that
are
was a
now
good
crossing a zone of turbulence.
Correlation.
Yeah.
It's good. Thank you.
It's good.
He kind of made fun of me, but
No, I
you
was.
just saw me and you
I
understood.
tried to
us.
extend it while I thought it was a good segue, so I repeated it and extended it so I could do the sound effect to the next part of the show.
Oh, okay. My bad.
So, this is the part of the program where we say turbulence, the rough ride in the airplane where things get a little bumpy, and as we usually do the program, shows that don't make it always had some kind of problem. That's why we don't know anything past episode 1, but that's not the case with Atypical. They just earlier, I think, or sometime last year, they had season 3, the show.
And they've already announced season 4 is coming out at the end of 2020.
Perfect. So it's
I did some research.
It's a show that's working, and it made it past its initial episode. Blake, you love this show. The amount of passion you showed everyone in the past 10, 15 minutes for the plot. Please tell me why.
I really wanted everybody else to shut the fuck up.
I know you
I
did.
just talked about no.
This speaks to where you are on the spectrum, I believe.
Are we the only two that have watched the whole series?
I think so.
Matt's
Yeah.
watched
Well, I'm 2 episodes in.
Yeah.
2 episodes and
1 episode.
Yeah, I've watched 3 seasons. Yeah.
They, I got to be careful with what I say because they
Sure.
kind of blur together. So I don't want to have spoilers.
Sure.
Well, what do you like about the show? Why did this show work, Lucas?
For one thing, autism, the awareness of it is a big thing right now. Mm-hmm. So I think timing. And I think the fact that they look at it in a serious light rather than making a joke about it.
Right.
And then there's so many relatable dynamics. I mean, there's so many families that do have that sort of tension with the
Yes.
parents. There's, you know, so many of us that have siblings. Like, I'm younger than my sister, but I always protected my sister.
Right.
You know, so there's that dynamic of, but I always give my sister shit. I always have my whole life. But again, like their relationship, myself, my brother, we can pick on my sister
Nobody else can.
because it comes from a place of love. It's
Sure.
not mean-spirited. And that's how I think Casey is. She loves Sam, but she gives him shit because that's what siblings do.
Right.
But nobody else. So I think there's a lot of really relatable things.
Yeah, it's relatable in the fact that you don't have to have a child with autism in your family. These family dynamics happen with whatever. It's just the way family dynamics happen.
And it's not cheesy. It's not overdone.
It's not insulting.
Yeah, it's really just the cast. I think the cast is excellent.
Yeah, that's where it starts for me. I think it was with like Michael Rappaport, and I've been a bit even like in a different scenario for him, not just his acting, but he's actually written more recently for like Barstool Sports, and he shows up on the Colin Cowherd Show and things like that. He has legitimately good sports takes, and I've enjoyed watching him and how he carries himself, but he's so good in this.
And
he is so good.
I'm so used to him in his comedy roles.
Yep.
I wasn't really sure how I was going to take him in this role, but yeah, he does.
No, they struck a balance for him.
Just everybody, they casted this thing so well. It's real well written. There's just so many positives about this show.
Michael Rappaport in another failed pilot we had done, Fugly. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
Yep. Atypical. Is this an allegory for anti-vaccinations?
I've never really given that thought.
I didn't really think about that part
okay.
of it, but just vaccinate your kids. Who cares?
Well,
right?
hold on, Matt's got something to say.
No, the reason I would maybe say not is I don't know, some of the loudest voices came within the acting community, right, about vaccinations or not vaccinating. I think of like a Jim Carrey who came out very passionately against like the state of California.
Well, you know what? You know why that is, right? Because he was dating Jenny McCarthy, who has an autistic child.
That. Okay,
that is 100% why he did that. Yeah,
but
very good.
I have always had my vaccinations. My ex-wife always had her vaccinations. We gave Austin all his vaccinations. His vaccinations, and he was on the spectrum one way or the other. You know?
Yeah, it's. I think it's a roll of the die. It's not like you put the child in with a Downy dryer sheet. You know, it's not. It's nothing like that, right?
No.
When Sam's like fixating on like the word twat and stuff, am I right in remembering that everything else kind of fades behind,
it's blurry, or yeah.
So it's allowing us to know, and they're just little things like that.
Slow motion, like when he was in the school and he's talking about school and he has his headphones on. He is crystal clear. Everything's a little bit blurry and everything's in slow motion.
Yeah, so it's kind of giving you the world through his eyes.
That first person view.
It isolates you as a viewer because he's isolated.
Yeah.
Right.
The only thing, and this is honestly, I really enjoyed it. The only thing was kind of, and this is going to sound stupid, like this Pinterest style home that they live in. I couldn't quite get a grasp. Did Elsa work? What did Michael Rappaport do for a living?
Michael Rappaport is an EMT.
Yeah, based on his outfit, it looked like he was an EMT, while she said later she was a hairdresser or something.
Yeah, she was a hairdresser.
All right. Yeah. So just based on the home, the setting, the surrounding, how they kept it, what it looked like, it seemed like upper middle class. I don't know.
She was also obsessive compulsive.
There's some of that.
They were in New York, right? Because he kept talking about the Mets, and he kind of had that accent. Were they in New York?
I think so.
That was probably like in his contract that he had to be able to mention the Mets. By the way, yeah,
that's probably exactly right.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position.
Final descent. Sometimes we say, hey, you know what? We saw this and it's available to everyone else, which is always the case, but so few people watch some of the god-awful failed pilots we've seen, but a lot of people have seen this. Rotten Tomatoes, the series as a whole, 87% say the critics. The audience says 95%. Typically the Rotten Tomatoes does not break down individual episodes, but rather seasons. And this is a show that I noticed when researching. The series was at for this season 73% and 96% for the audience, 73% for the critics. But every season has gotten higher and higher with the critics. I think this is a show that, like I said, Interesting Facts does not list or didn't necessarily maybe do all they could to incorporate autistic actors, but as time has gone on, they have. They've made it more realistic as time has gone on. They've listened to the critics and the people and said, what can we do to integrate what they're saying and really make this maybe even a show for the people or as realistic or relatable as possible.
Right. It does seem like that their focus is really not just pandering, but I think they genuinely do want to do the right things here.
Yeah.
And I also think that the first season, you don't know how it's going to go. You know what I mean? You're trying to establish a show. Yes, you want to have, people with autism starring in the show playing autistic people because that's what, But I think after they got through that first season, they had some more backing from Netflix. They could do the things they wanted to do because in season, I do think that in season 1 there is a couple, but season 2 and 3 are prevalent with people that have autism.
And not to defend them because I'm just now getting introduced to the show, but if I'm Netflix at the beginning, and maybe this was a conscious decision for them to not have as many folks with special needs or autism on the show at the beginning of it. But if I'm Netflix, if I'm an employer, I'm asking some tough questions about what kind of support does bringing on actors with special needs onto my sets? Because I'm an employer, they're an employee. And that probably does not come naturally without them having to not just talk to their agents, not just talk to their agents, but talk to their support systems, talk to their families, talk to their ... That's probably just doesn't happen. Hey, go get 5 autistic people and bring them on the show. It doesn't work like that.
I was having that same kind of thought process. I never thought about any of it until I came up here that they didn't have the autistic actors and stuff. But yeah, then as we're sitting here thinking, I was thinking the same thing. Maybe they didn't know how to handle it or what it would be like, how hard it would be.
How to integrate it.
They would probably even have legal considerations. So there's all kinds of stuff they need to walk through.
I think in this woke environment, in the current political landscape that we live in, where Hank Azaria, a man who is a Jewish fella, I think by all accounts, can no longer play Apu on The Simpsons, or when Johnny Depp gets a boatload of horse shit for playing Tonto in the much failed Lone Ranger by Disney, everyone is saying if you're going to have this character, they need to be played very specifically.
What's the one where it was supposed to be an Asian lady and some white girl played it? They had something to do with it going to Hawaii on a plane or something, but that was recent too. I don't remember.
There's a lot of examples. Yeah.
I
don't know that one specifically, but there are a lot of examples like that. Something that does come to my mind though, and I don't know if you guys remember or familiar with it. I think late '80s, maybe even early '90s, is a television program goes by the name of Life Goes On. Do you guys remember that show?
Sure, Down syndrome guy.
A fellow with actual Down syndrome is technically kind of the star of the show. I think his sister was a big star too. Christy something. She went on to play in ER later. But this is a show that focused on a guy with Down syndrome, and it was I think it was like a half-hour drama. It may have been an hour.
I think it was an hour.
Okay, and that show lasted probably 3 to 5 seasons. It was a success by all accounts, and I think that kid's still alive. He's probably 50, 55 years old. But I can see the backlash, but these are actors. They're meant to portray different roles. So I don't get offended when someone does not play exactly what they are.
Right. When you like Tom Cruise in Born on the 4th of July, do you not have Tom Cruise on because he can walk?
Right.
These
are actors, right? They're doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Sean Penn, when he plays in Milk, he's not gay.
He's not a gay guy.
But he plays a gay guy.
Yeah. We'll do some critic reviews here. Amari Allah from whereverIlook.com says, I think I truly am going to love this show. These are all based off of the pilot only. Gilchrist, the guy who plays Sam, he presents Sam as the type of character that you are likely to laugh with, admittedly sometimes at, cry with, and also make you cringe. Then in terms of the supporting characters, as long as Lee doesn't try to push her character to be side by side with Gilchrist, I can't see anything going wrong. From Sam's family to friends and associates, they are shown just enough of this world so that we can get their importance. Something which is matched by us being told and shown they have their own lives outside of Sam. Mm-hmm. Sophie Gilbert from theatlantic.com says, Atypical is so close to great. The Netflix series is about a high school senior with autism is warm-hearted, funny, and totally inconsistent. Ultimately, Atypical wants people to be more sensitive to what people like Sam go through, and in that sense, it succeeds. Gilchrist, who isn't on the spectrum, is persuasive and thoughtful enough to avoid making Sam feel like a stereotype, even in more mawkish or predictable moments. But it's hard not to long for treatment of autism that's as well-rounded and as gutsy as ABC's Speechless, whose creator, Scott Silveri, based it on his own experience with his brother's disability and has spoken about the difficulty in finding the line between comedy and accuracy. Atypical's first season proves how being entertaining and groundbreaking is really tough balance to strike.
I've seen all the episodes of Speechless, too. and I commend them for that. But
it's a good comparison and a well thought out one. You believe?
I think they're both even in the fact of how they portray the disability. I don't.
Do you find yourself, in all seriousness, drawn to shows about people on the spectrum because you have a son who is that?
No.
It's nothing to do with that?
No.
Because there's that show, too, that's out right now, I believe, called The Good Doctor, which is about a young man, right, who is...
Never heard of it.
Okay, but I think it's another show about someone with autism.
No, I don't think that's what drew me to this show at all.
Okay.
Good Doctor. That's not the Richard Schiff one, is it? From The West Wing? Good Doctor?
He might be on, I don't know.
I think
but
that is.
it's a young man... Yeah, it's just a young man who basically is a doctor who can...
It's Doogie Howser with autism.
Did you find this on your own, or did someone recommend it to you?
I found it on my own. Yeah, I found it on my own.
You want any more critic reviews?
Nah, we're good.
All right, let's move along. I guess I'll just throw the work I did in the garbage can. No one cares about the work I do. The time away from my friends and family.
I've been staring at Lucas's shirt all night, man. I've been meaning to tell you that. Where do I get one?
I got it online at Hot Topic.
What does it say?
God bless you.
Hot Topic.
Well, it's about Little Sebastian's farewell tour, and it says featuring a new instant classic, 5,000 Candles in the Wind, Friday night at the Pit. That part I don't remember.
And that's a reference to Parks and Recreation.
You bet it is.
Okay.
It was after he died. They did the memorial concert.
Yeah. It's where Ron Swanson blows his eyebrows off.
Yeah.
I always say that like Kiss. You like the band Kiss and Knights in Satan's Service?
No, I never liked their music.
Yeah, exactly. I get it, and I applaud their creativity and their ability to exploit themselves. But they're the most overrated band in rock and roll history.
Do you remember
Parks and Rec, the most overrated sitcom in television history?
False.
Jay knows I love him, but I don't agree. Yeah.
Do you remember we worked with a woman who was the cousin of Gene Simmons?
I don't remember that.
Gloria.
Oh, is she really?
Yeah, and I was talking shit about Gene Simmons one day, and you were like, hey, you might need to keep it down because she's his cousin of some sort.
Oh, yeah?
It was during shift change, and I was just like ripping on him so hard in the back.
Yeah, Gloria died recently.
Did she? She was
1 out of 7 is the rating scale here. 1 being the worst score you can get, 7 being the best. That's based on the television program accurately and affectionately known as Wings. We'll give him a second. Did you get a new haircut? You look great, pal.
He does,
and
man.
you know what?
High and tight. I like it.
You look great. You sound great.
You can tell that.
It's my bartender haircut.
1 is the worst score, and that's the character on Wings known as Roy Biggins. 7 is the best score you can get, and that's a fellow that goes by the name of Brian Hackett. Lucas, I turn to you. How do you rate the pilot episode of Atypical?
honestly, I've got to go 7 on this.
Wow, cutting no bones about it, cutting right to the chase.
This is one of the few shows that I saw the first episode, and I binge watched everything within a matter of few days.
High five that shit. Because I wrote, this pilot makes this series binge worthy. 3 seasons, go watch them.
When that 3rd season came out, I think I watched that all in one day.
Yep.
I recommended this show to my sister. It took her a week to get through all 3 seasons. I got a text from her, and she's like, hey, when's the next season coming out? And that's kind of what I get from everybody I recommend this to.
Yeah.
And this is one of the few shows that pops into mind when someone says, hey, what should I watch on Netflix? This is one of my go-tos.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very good.
Good job.
Quick to the point. Matthew, I turn to you.
Yeah.
Now, you had no experience with this program
I didn't
before.
know.
But had you heard of it?
I had heard of it, but that's about the extent of it.
And you went so far to watch the 2nd episode.
I did. So I watched the first one this morning, woke up with my daughter really early, and she got up and the rest of the house was sleeping, so I said, I'm going to knock this out. I'm going to watch this first one. And then I worked out a little bit later, and we've got a TV down there, and I popped on the 2nd one in a hurry. And I thought, let's see if this kind of lives up to the momentum of the first episode, and I thought it did.
Are you going to continue to watch it going forward?
You bet.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, so Parks and Rec and West Wing, if you just want a small snapshot into our house, we don't binge watch anything, but we rewatch a lot, and that's
they're on
what
a
we
continuous
watch.
loop.
We really are. We get to watch about half an hour to an hour worth of TV on any given, I don't know, between over the course of a couple days.
It's anything Aaron Sorkin did, mainly The West Wing.
Anything Sorkin did, yes.
And Parks and Rec.
Anything Sorkin did, you should watch it.
Which honestly
I can do anything Sorkin can do.
It's funny, though.
Can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
I've never coined it this, but someone has said, like, like, Parks and Rec is like, West Wing is a comedy, which I think West Wing is hilarious to begin with, so I digress. I'm not trying to be...
Those two things, and then that scene on Charlie Wilson's War with Philip
also
Seymour
written by
Hoffman.
Sorkin, yeah. Also written by Sorkin.
Those are the things that are constantly in play at his house.
And Interstellar.
every single Killer's music video, always and forever.
Always and forever. And Interstellar, which I could sit down and watch on a continuous loop, along with the Bourne movies. But
so it can be argued that Matthew's on the spectrum here.
I will not disagree.
I think we're all on the spectrum a little bit.
And I think that's the
others.
point of the show, is it not?
Yeah.
To that end, I'm not trying to be withholding, but I've only seen 2 episodes.
What is your score? How do you grade Atypical?
Give me all 6.
6. Boom.
I know it's not 7, but I really like what I've seen so far.
Most people realize that 6 indeed is not 7.
Agree.
Because you don't go to heaven.
You know what?
That's all right.
Well, anyone dumb enough to listen to this show
Excuse me?
probably needs that reminder.
Hats off to the listeners.
Says the man who texts me about the show.
No, but seriously, I can't say enough about Michael Rappaport. So he
is great.
He kind of does it for me.
He's great.
Yeah.
Did you get a bump for him or no?
The Rappaport bump?
Yeah.
Not that.
You get a
I think
Rappaport?
it could have held a 6, but it cemented the 6.
6 either way.
It cemented
Solid
the
6.
6 for me. Yeah.
Captain Philip, rest assured, I turned to you. Had you read Atypical?
I uttered the same words that Lucas did.
Mm-hmm.
I found the show, and I had to wait for season 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I remember when this first came out, and you saying to me, "Hey, I really like this show."
Right.
I remember you saying that.
I think it's not just about an autistic kid. It's about a family that everybody has. The characters in the family, everybody has those kind of characters. Like we were saying, you can pick on and give shit to your sister, but nobody else can. The dynamic between the husband and wife. I really think the guy that plays Sam does a very good job of not being overly autistic is not the way to say it, but you know what I mean?
I would never say that. I'd be canceled if I said something like that.
It's not a caricature or...
Right, exactly. It's taken, in my opinion, it's very tasteful the whole way through.
Yeah, that's
it's taken
a good word
very
for it.
seriously all the way through. Elsa is a fucking bitch, and I cannot stand her.
Does it get worse?
Really?
Does it get
I
worse?
do not think she's... first of all, she is not near as pretty as she was in the olden days.
Are you talking about Fast Times?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second of all, she's a bitch. In this show, you will not like her, and if you feel sorry for her, fuck you.
Holy
you femme.
smokes.
Anyway,
The listeners are getting an earful tonight. Yeah.
it's amazing. I love this show. I can't wait for the next episodes to come out. I'm giving it a 7.
Hot dang.
7. Holy smokes. Well, I turn to myself, which is
cheese
damn near
stains
impossible
alone.
to do. I don't have a score similar to you fellas. I will say that I give this show a 1. Hell of a program. I do like it. It was.
I knew. I was like, he's
I was
not
gonna
that
say,
stupid.
there's no way that holds.
He's not that stupid.
Yeah.
This,
he had to have been sitting on that line
yeah.
all
Yeah.
show.
I thought
It's
of
on
it.
his laptop right now.
It says it right here. One hell
of a
yeah.
model American.
It says 1 ... pause, wait for reaction. Hell of a show. I liked it. It was good. I have no interest to watch it going forward, though.
What?
I'm not going to binge it. I'm not going to watch any more episodes. But I get the appeal, and I like it, and I can sit back and say I can appreciate for what this is, and I get it. I'm just not interested in watching anymore.
I really think you should watch three more episodes.
Okay.
I'm not surprised by that, actually.
Because he has no feelings.
Well, just knowing the kind of stuff that he watches and that he likes.
But I did like this. I thought it was good. I don't want to see Michael Rappaport and Jennifer Jason Leigh's marriage fall apart. It's like saying, Golden Globes and Oscar nominees for I can't remember the lady that's in it, but Adam Driver in the Netflix movie Marriage Story. Everyone says how great the movie is, but I think it's a grade A downer about the deterioration of a relationship. I don't want to watch that fucking shit, man. That's gonna make me sick to my stomach. I can't watch this.
But there's so many achievements in this series too. It's not just their marriage falling apart.
Well, thankfully, all I have to do is watch the pilot for this godforsaken podcast. So I give it a 6 with Matthew.
Wow.
It's well done. I like a lot of the people, and I really like the sister. She was kind of an ass kicker. I like her.
Yeah, she's good.
Jennifer Jason Leigh's always good, and I love Michael Rappaport.
Yeah,
the star of the show was good, but he's the one that I paid the least attention to. Michael Rappaport is fantastic. I always like him.
Amen.
I give it a 6. Matthew gives it a 6, and you two fellas give it a 7. And with that, we close the book on Atypical, and we will never mention that show again. Yeah. But join us next time, won't you please, when we watch the pilot episode of The Sopranos over here. Here's a little something to whet your whistle. New Jersey mob boss Tony Soprano deals with personal and professional issues in his home and business life that affect his mental state, leading him to seek professional psychiatric counseling. You can find the entire episode of The Sopranos over here by subscribing to Couch Pilots on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or log on to someone else's Amazon Prime before they drop the Amazon dime. Oh, God, I'm sorry.
Nice.
Oh, that's terrible. That's awful. I apologize.
I thought I was going to have to come to your house, but I have Amazon Prime still, I think.
I think it's on there. I think it's on there.
Ooh, I hope I don't have to come to your house.
Why not? You never come over. No one ever comes to my house.
You never invite anybody to your house.
I have an open door policy.
No, you do. No, you do not.
What does that mean?
Nobody should just walk up to your house and knock on your door and go, "Hey, I'm here to visit."
Why not?
I don't think that would go well.
Why?
If you played video games, he'd invite you over a lot more.
Actually, really?
Because we do some fucking GoldenEye.
There you go.
No Mercy.
Yeah.
Well, we used to.
Yeah.
When I still had friends and I still liked Jason.
Yep. Now both those things have gone away.
That's right.
If you want to contact the show, write us an email, won't you please, at couchpilotspodcast@gmail.com. If you know about a failed pilot that you want us to do next season sometime coming up, it's going to be moved to the front of the list. We'll do it right away. Go to couchpilotspodcast.com. You can listen to all of our godforsaken programs from episode number 1 and contact us through all of our various social medias. We got Facebook, Twitter, and by God, I hope we've deleted Instagram by now. Call us at 910-PILOTS-1. That's 910-745-6871. Leave us a voicemail. You get to hear what your beautiful melodic voice sounds like right here on this program. Right?
Yeah, for sure. We've missed. We have
one loaded.
Well, last week we did.
Yeah,
we played it last
week.
Yeah, last week we played it.
We're also on Patreon. If you want to give us some money for doing this show, the joke is on you. Let's see here. Do you have any messages of positivity?
Sure. I have tons of positivity.
Please.
I want to tell all our listeners Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah, that's great.
It's not about buying cards. It's not about having a girlfriend or a boyfriend. It's not all about just like you should show the people you love that you love them all the time.
I agree.
Whether it doesn't have to be in a heterosexual relationship or whatever. Mm-hmm. Just if you love your mom, you tell her all the time.
It could be platonic love.
Sure.
Right.
If you love your friends, tell them you love them.
The way a man loves a houseplant.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what? From now on, the messages of positivity, you're not supposed to speak because you're mocking me the whole time.
No, I'm trying to piggyback on what you're saying. Mock.
Ing.
Yeah.
Sing.
Yeah.
Ing.
Okay, obviously you guys have a little bit that you guys know about a song or something.
It's a very famous song from a very popular movie. That's fine.
You've never seen Dumb and Dumber?
Oh, God, no. I would never watch that stupid-ass movie.
What are we doing?
Happy Valentine's Day. We love all our listeners. Thank you guys for supporting us. Thank you for believing in us, and thank you for continuing to listen to us. You want the Pilot's Challenge score so far?
If you, yeah, that's fine.
Through season 22, episode 4.
Mm-hmm.
That's right now. You're at 126.
Right.
I'm at 114.
Wow, the downloads are really leveled off.
Very much.
You know what?
I thought about adding a 0 to each one of those, but Matt's here. And I don't want to lie.
Going forward, don't tell us the download numbers anymore. Don't tell us the download numbers. Just say who's ahead. Okay.
That's so ridiculous.
Lucas, thank you so much for being on the program and being our baggage boy week after week.
Always appreciate being here, talking to you guys, hanging out. It's nice to finally do a show with Matt.
Yeah.
Cheers. Yeah.
I met him a couple times.
Yeah. In the same place. Yep.
Met at a Bush concert, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Holy jeez, man. You should know. Please forgive me. I'm going to say this on air, but
He was stoned during that.
Well, no, it's like an out-of-body experience for me.
He was 16
so,
stoned, I think.
Yeah,
right
16 stoned the whole time, man. So,
Well, no, it
was it a quick exchange? Or
Yeah, it was just a quick. You guys were coming in,
Okay.
kind of met. Hey, you know,
Yep.
shook it. And then you guys went to
the one in
fr-
Peoria here, right? Or did we meet at the?
yeah, it was in Peoria.
That was the Monarch. Or
Yeah, the Monarch. Okay.
And then you went up front so you could drool on Gavin
And that my wife was the only one who touched him.
So
And
Oh, you
then-
touched him, didn't you?
Well, she touched him, and then she touched me. Is what happened.
I thought you touched him. I thought you got a hand on him.
I might have given him a bump, but Heather definitely got a whole hand on him, and then she
so
touched
his
me.
energy
It was
flowed through
transferable.
her into
That's
you.
right. That's right.
And then CouchCon, we.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So it was nice to finally get us down and
You guys were
Likewise, man.
do one
Yeah.
of these together.
Likewise.
You were helping organize the Burfung suite, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
He had a lot to do with it. As if you know, it's probably not too much to say that he was the only reason that I got pulled off. We had so many bags for that room that he made sure got to the suite itself.
He buoyed the hell out of him. Matt, thank you for being on the show. Do you have anything you'd like to plug while you're here?
I don't have anything I'd like to plug necessarily, but you know, like I said last time, I fly a lot for work, and you guys are the cheapest by far to get up in the air. But
Well,
I mean,
we don't really land when we're doing commercial flights. We just kind of parachute. folks.
it really
yeah.
was. The first time was terrifying, but now that I've done this,
It's
know,
exhilarating now. It's like jumping in.
oh,
a
no
cold
doubt about it. I
shower.
can't wait. Yeah, it really is.
And by cheapest, he means you put no money into the plane at all.
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you.
the planes really seen better days, but the
Thank
company is
you.
always top notch. So yeah, yeah.
All right, well, that's good enough. This pilot was the start of a very successful series, and it's always a smooth flight here on Couch Pilots. Thanks, everyone, and we shall see you next time. Waiting for this to... There it is.